More, more marshy water. So I went to farm this morning, right? I had to go collect water, and I have a lot of like maintenance to do, weeding and that type of thing. And I went fully prepared to do that. I get all the way to the farm, and my work boots. I realize my work boots are right beside my bookshelf where I left them at home. So I felt called to come back here and talk to this here camera again. Um, Somewhere along Kenilworth Park, ooh, the duckies amongst the living, that's just doing their thing, that ain't worried about nobody else. These ducks are out here being ducks, you know what I'm saying? Tadpoles are out here being tadpoles. Um, and they're just, they instinctively do what they need to do. They rest when they need to rest, they seek food when they need to seek food. And they get along with their counterparts. There's no emotional entanglements. So it feels good here. It feels awesome. And then the trees just give you life. The trees give breath. So it's always a great place to be for me. Man, I'm gonna have to get used to this camera situation. But anyway, so I'm here. I felt called to talk to this camera again. And so that's what I'm doing. Fuck, man. I, I've been heavy. I've been super heavy. I have released two folk out of my life. One that was just lingering, like just weirdo shit. Like, we can't have a conversation, but you can send me a meme twice a day just so I can, like, think of you. But we don't have no other connection other than that. Like, that's some crazy shit. But, like, why would someone do that, right? Tether your energy some kind of way, put you on, like, layaway. It's crazy. And then another one, it's always been like a fuck buddy. Um, Pretty decent sex. But just always putting me in morally compromising situations and never honoring me. And so it's like, my higher self is like, bitch, you're not gonna get shit until you let these tethers go. Like, you gotta cut that shit. Like, you can't elevate with energies, vampiric energies around you like that. Like, you need your full life force to do the shit you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? You need your full life force, not just a piece of it, you know, not just, the fragmented thing, after everybody else get a taste. Like, no, no. And, you know, it is what it is. And I think energetically, I shifted away from family because for me, that was the hardest. I was raised rooted in family. Rooted, My family gets together every year for the most part. And I saw that as something, like, as that something to be proud of. I saw that as like a strength. I saw that as a testament to my lineage and how powerful it is and how close it is. But it ain't close. You go to these reunions, they're sect out. Um, there's, talking behind people's back and just, it's not full of love. I always felt like I needed to come there armored up. you know, ready to be of service and nothing else really. And that's not good either. So I let that go. And I couldn't shake this heavy feeling. I couldn't, well, I mean, I'm shaking it, obviously. My body was like, bitch, if you don't get out here and walk and do some things. And I'm out here in my goddamn flats, walking on the goddamn trail, everybody biking and running and shit. And I'm like, damn, I forgot all my shit at home for a reason. And I'm telling you, these Adidas slides ain't no joke, man. These joints are super comfortable. They're like perfect for walking, honestly. So that's what I'm doing. But it's been rough, you know, letting go letting go of people so you can boss the fuck up, right? And then trusting that the things you've been doing where you haven't heard anything, where you're not seeing results, you know, that those are, trusting that those are gonna come to something. And honestly, I was using weed, man, and I've been without weed for a couple of days, and it does, you know, it's a trickster energy, right? So it's, you know, it's something to navigate, yet another thing to navigate, but it's also been a tool for me, right? Because if you go anywhere in Ward 7, you gonna smell some weed, like anywhere, any corner. Like if you driving through my hood, you gonna smell it everywhere. So I gotta alchemize that. I gotta understand that energy, right? And I utilized it for my wellness. Um, and you know, keep your opinions to your goddamn self on that one. Um, but again, it's trickster energy, right? So anytime I don't have it, you know, I really evaluate where I am as a person to make sure it's not like a vice, you know. Um, I've always stayed away from substance like that. I didn't start drinking until I was 37. And it was, again, you know, to acclimate, to alchemize the environment that I was in, you know, happy hour after work to unwind, being in a very stressful, deadline-driven environment. Um, it happened, you know. I also put on a lot of weight and shit, right? But, you know, I realize now the correlation between all of those things. It's a protection tactic, right? When you're taking in all of those blows, you need to be able to protect yourself one way or the other. And that extra weight gain, and did that. And it's an energetic thing. But I don't want to rely on that, right? And I haven't. So I've always had like a really cautious relationship with substances. You know, my dad was a heroin addict, and so, you know, I have always seen how addiction plays out in people's lives, how it plays out in their internal dialogues, and how it plays, right? So that, like, that trickster energy. Oh, but don't get me started on alcohol. That's a demon. That's just demonic. That's a demonic energy. I'm telling y'all now. You drinkers, y'all are tapping into y'all are feeding your demons. That's all that shit do. That's all alcohol do. I have not seen it. I have not seen it occupy people in any other way other than feeding their demons, whatever that is. And again, I had to see that by being married to an alcoholic. But it is a problem in our community, right? Liquor stores. I mean, it's a way to feed demons, to keep people pacified, right? And so, yeah, you know, these are the things that I have come to understand in my 50 and some change years. I can't quite round it off yet. But, I'm in my early 50s. And this is the thing that I'm coming to understand about energy and folk and my people, right? Because quite frankly, I mean, there's a lot of addiction in my community. A lot. And it's not just to substances, but it's to that self-deprecation that I talked about in another video back in the day. But, this beating up of yourself, this idea that you're not enough or that you're not doing the right thing, right? So if you always think you're not doing the right thing and then you take your cues from this capitalist fucking society, man, you're always chasing some shit that don't really fill you up. And that's by fucking design. That's by design. So you'll turn to these substances, right? And you'll feed your demons, and guess what the demons do? Yeah, girl, you all right. You just need to grind. They just feed you all of that same fuck shit. Evil fuckery to keep you participating in this bullshit. To keep you a willing participant of this bullshit. And I had to have a real good understanding of that so I could help be one of the people that dismantle that shit in my community. Because enough is a fucking enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's enough, right? Every time I tell people, man, you need to just get out and walk, right? Be one with your feelings. People look at me like I'm fucking crazy. They look at me like I'm crazy. They don't see the healing nature of it. They don't see the healing nature of just fucking being quiet and disassociating from this goddamn apparatus. Did you come here to be a cog in a machine? Did you come here to be an inanimate object? Did you not fucking take notes from the Matrix? What is the point of being tethered to some goddamn machine and not actually living your life? You're recording other people experiencing the experience instead of experiencing the experience. Make it make sense. It don't. It don't make sense. So, anyway, I got pulled away from the farm, I guess, to come here and walk. And hey, them ducks was like, yo, bitch, you better tell them. Them ducks know what time it is. But I'm going to get off of here and, save some more for later. Peace. I don't know. What's an outro that don't seem cheesy? Or maybe it's just me. Like, whatever. I'm out. Till the next time. Peace, folks.